distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you to each and every one of you for being here with us today. I am Yannis Retsas, General Director of Strategic Trade Development of Enterprise Greece. I'll be the moderator in today's event, which is the first one of 2023 of the branded series of webinars Doing Business in Challenges and Opportunities, focusing on the Spanish market. As most of you know, Enterprise Greece organizes these webinars in cooperation with our Greek offices of economic and commercial affairs around the world, aiming at providing essential and up-to-date information on strategic markets. Today, we have a lot to cover, so we should really begin. Without further ado, I will pass now the floor to Ms. Betty Alexandropoulou, Executive Director and Board Member of Enterprise Greece.
Εκλεκτοί προσκεκλημένοι, κυρίες και κύριοι, καλησπέρα σας. Buenas tardes a todos. Εκ μέρους της Enterprise Greece, σας καλωσορίζω στο σημερινό Doing Business in Spain, Challenges and Opportunities. Συνεχίζουμε με μεγάλη χαρά και φέτος αυτή μας την υπηρεσία με την πρώτη εκδήλωση για το 2023 αφιερωμένη στην Ισπανία. Στο σημείο αυτό, για τους προσκεκλημένους και ομιλητές μας από το εξωτερικό, θα συνεχίσω στα αγγλικά. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the National Trade and Invest Agency of the Greek state, I welcome you to today's event, Doing Business in Spain. This ongoing webinar series highlights the opportunities and challenges in strategic international markets for Greek exporters. Enterprise Greece, under the umbrella of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, co-organizes this as well as other initiatives with the economic and commercial offices of our embassies and consulates abroad as part of a joint effort to maximize our support of Greek businesses and trade. In this capacity, today's event also builds on our growing cooperation with our Spanish partners. Last spring, Enterprise Greece and the Spanish Embassy in Athens co-organized the Spain-Greece Business Forum. We have also joined forces with our Spanish counterparts at ETHICS in developing common actions. And I'm pleased to say there has been an increased interest from both Spanish and Greek enterprises to do business together. Spain and Greece already have a dynamic relationship. Spain is one of Greece's top 10 export markets. In addition, the two countries also enjoy strong political ties as EU and NATO members, face several common challenges, and share many cultural traits as fellow Mediterranean countries and seafaring nations. All this gives us an excellent basis for expanding our economic relations further. We have some very distinguished speakers with us today who will tell us about opportunities for doing business, just that, in a range of sectors from Greek tech to food products. Tech is a rapidly growing field in Greece with a flourishing startup ecosystem, highly skilled human capital, and solid support for the industry in the form of infrastructure, incentives, and other initiatives. The sector is drawing great investor interest in startups, to R&D facilities, and cloud computing data centers that are being developed by Google, Microsoft, and Amazon. Greece is rapidly developing into a tech and innovation hub for the region and has all the fundamentals for becoming a top 10 global tech hub in the next decade, with its Greek tech companies and talent spearheading the effort. Another long-established powerhouse of Greek economy is tourism. After 2 years of lockdowns, tourism in Greece is making a strong comeback. Drawing over 33 million people in the country, the sun and sea are proving to be powerful forces in the economy. The outlook remains strong as tourism players prepare for the next growth phase by reinvesting themselves and reinventing themselves. As a result, the quality of hospitality services in Greece has climbed several notches, helping better position the sector in a very fickle and competitive environment. Shipping is another traditional sector for Greece, as it is for Spain. The new imperatives of sustainability and protection of the environment are reshaping the industry in a way that it has not seen since the transition from sail to steam. The ships of the future will need to be smart and sustainable, efficient and cost-effective. And Greek companies are at the forefront of producing smart ship solutions, as well as high-quality traditional maritime equipment. And then there is the delicious Mediterranean food that both our countries excel in producing. Greek food exports have set successive records for the past decade, even in 2020, an otherwise difficult year for international trade. Around the world, Greek foods have gained a reputation for being healthy as well as delicious. Our distinguished speakers today, Mr. Jorge Herrera, Melia's Group Head of Development in Southeast Europe, Mr. Javier Arnaud, Director of Navalia International Shipping Exhibition in Vigo, Mr. Ioannis Malamatinis, General Director of Olimpo Gourmet in Barcelona, and Mr. Michael Kokkinos, CEO of Greek Mocktail, and also I need to add, the President of the Hellenic Spanish Chamber of Commerce, will provide you with an overview of the available opportunities as well as the challenges in these important sectors for Greek enterprises to do business in Spain. Ladies and gentlemen, Enterprise Greece, in cooperation with Greek embassies and commercial and economic affairs offices around the world, we are trying together to help you expand your international reach. At this point, I would like to extend a warm thank you to His Excellency, our Greek Ambassador to Spain, as well as our Counselor for Economic and Commercial Affairs, Vangelis Gassios, in Madrid, for our excellent cooperation in bringing this webinar to you. And now I pass the floor to His Excellency, Mr. Ilias Fotopoulos, for his remarks. Thank you once again, and welcome to our webinar.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very pleased and honored to address today the audience of the webinar that Enterprise Greece is organizing on the Spanish market, the prospects of further enhancing bilateral economic cooperation and the opportunities for Greek companies. I want to congratulate Enterprise Greece, especially its Executive Director, Ms. Betty Alexandropoulou, and her team for organizing, in close cooperation with the Embassy of Greece in Madrid, this online event that brings together the Greek business community and several outstanding speakers from the business community of Spain. Among the speakers, I'm very happy that we have with us Mr. Javier Arnaud, Director of Navalia Group, organizing trade fairs for the maritime sector, who will give us his guidance and insight on the cooperation opportunities that exist in the shipbuilding and maritime equipment sectors between Greek and Spanish companies. We also have the pleasure to have with us Mr. Jorge Herrera, a high executive of the world-famous Spanish hotel chain Meliá, that has been expanding its presence in Greece over the past few years. Mr. Herrera will present Meliá's activities in Greece and the cooperation opportunities that exist for Greek and Spanish companies in the tourism sector. Moreover, we have the great pleasure to listen to a prominent representative of the Greek business community in Spain, Mr. Ioannis Malamatinis, a true friend of our embassy and an expert in the food and beverage market of Spain, who will explain to us that although Spain is the largest agricultural country in the European Union and a competitor to Greek agricultural products, there are numerous opportunities for Greek exporters of food and beverage to establish their presence and develop long-lasting cooperation relationships in Spain. We also have with us Mr. Michael Kokkinos, head of the Greek high-tech digital application company Mocktail, who will update us on his experience in cooperating with Spain and entering the Spanish market. Last but not least, I would like to say that I'm very pleased to present to you Mr. Pantelis Gassios, the Economic and Commercial Counselor of our Embassy and Head of our Economic and Commercial Office, who has joined us recently, has been learning fast about the various aspects of the Spanish economy and market, and is always facilitating Greek businessmen and companies from both countries that wish to cooperate. As an ambassador and a diplomat who has the honor to have served Greece for quite a few years in Spain, in the past also, I'm proud to say that today the relations between our two countries have reached a strategic dimension. There is a strong will by the leaderships of Greece and Spain to further enhance, deepen and broaden cooperation in various fields bilaterally, but also within the European Union framework. There is an increasing level of bilateral trade exchange, with the volume of our bilateral trade reaching 4.4 billion euro and Greek exports to Spain amounting to nearly 2 billion euro in the first 11 months of 2022, according to the Greek statistics. Moreover, the bilateral investment flows have been steadily increasing over the past few years, and we look forward to achieving even higher volumes of investment stocks. Last but not least, both sides are also quite active in organizing business delegations and B2B meetings, creating a favorable and conducive environment towards the enhancement of the cooperation between the business communities of the two countries. Dear friends, I sincerely thank you for your online presence today. I wish each and every one of you health above all and every success in your endeavors. Please rest assured that the Embassy of Greece and its services are always at your disposal, aiming at the common goal of further strengthening the relations between Greece and Spain. We perceive 2023 as a year that will further define the common destiny of our two friendly nations, which look into the future with vision and optimism within the context of their common belonging with the broader European family. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Your Excellency. It's a great honor to have you with us today. Now we proceed with the bilateral trade overview, and we welcome Mr. Pantelis Gassios, Counselor of Economic and Commercial Affairs of our Embassy in Madrid. Mr. Gassios, the floor is yours.
Cooperation. I'm going now to share my screen so that you can follow the presentation. Yes. Okay, so we'll have a quick look at some macroeconomics of the Spanish economy. In 2022, first 9 months, GDP a bit over 1.3 trillion euro, a real GDP change that is projected for the year approximately to 4.6%, and a high unemployment rate, traditionally for Spain, one of the highest, if not the highest, in the EU, but showing some decreasing trends, an inflation rate that jumped very high during over the course of 2022. I will refer to this in the next slide, but is showing some remarkable downward trends. Exports and imports of well over 300 billion euro. A public deficit that has been decreasing after the very difficult year of 2020 for all of us with the pandemic crisis. A high public debt, which is one of the highest in the EU, and is projected at 113.1% by the Central Bank of Spain for 2022. A traditional current account surplus, mainly due to the revenues from tourism. Let's see some estimates for the period 22-23. Spain's economy began, first of all, to recover at a significant pace in 2021, following the crisis of 2020. Of course, in the beginning of last year, the geopolitical developments, the war in Ukraine led to an international economic turmoil, with prices continuously soaring and putting many economies, in a recession trend. However, the Spanish economy did not enter recession. It will grow. It has grown. According to the government, the real GDP change will be over 5% for 2022. We are waiting for the final figure. The European Commission is projecting growth to be at 4.5% Spanish growth for 2022. Inflation jumped to a record high, highest level since 1984. In July 2022, it reached 10.8%, but since then it's been going down to 5.8% in December. But of course, there is some concern, because there are some estimates that consider a pessimistic macroeconomic scenario of recession combined with high inflation rates. This is mainly due to the fact that the prices of basic products, especially food products, are continuing to increase. As I said, high unemployment. The exports of goods and services are increasing at a very good pace. Some characteristics of the Spanish economy. We are talking about one of the largest economies of the world, number 13, and fourth largest economy in the EU, a member of the EU since 1986, with a population close to 50 million people, a big market. The economy is based mainly on the services sector, and most of it is tourism. A big part of it is tourism. Industrial sector represents 18%. The construction sector, approximately 6%, used to be higher before the crisis, the economic crisis of the last decade, but it's going up again. The agricultural sector, very important for Spain. It is the #1 EU exporter of agricultural products, very big production. It represents 2.5% of GDP, the agricultural sector. Another slide about main features of the Spanish economy. Spain is characterized by a high level of decentralization in its administration, with 17 autonomous communities. The largest and more economically powerful ones are Madrid and Catalonia. They represent 38% of the country's total GDP and receive most of the foreign direct investment. This high level of decentralization is also creating some particularities in the market, and especially in some markets, product markets of Spain. We can see that they are highly fragmented, so you need to find different representatives or importers or distributors that will get you through the market. It is the Spanish economy is a highly developed, diversified, and competitive economy. It is a large market. It has a high degree of economic freedom, the presence of competitive companies, very high consumer standards, a huge number of tourists, a special status as a gateway to the countries of Latin America. This is very important, particularly for some goods or services markets. many specialized suppliers and developed infrastructure network. These are the advantages of Spain. A quick look at the foreign trade with a negative trade balance, but this is normal, and very big volumes of international transactions. Let's have a closer look. These are 2021 figures. We see the main trading partners. The EU, of course, in terms of exports, is absorbing more than 70% of the Spanish exports, followed by the UK, the US, Morocco, and China. I have to say that within the EU, the Spanish exports go mainly to France, Germany, Portugal, Italy. These are the main markets for Spain in the EU. In terms of imports, again, the EU is represents almost half of the Spanish imports, followed by China, US, the UK, and Switzerland, and Turkey. Within the EU, we have a top supplier is Germany, followed by France, Italy, and the Netherlands. In terms of goods, main goods exported from Spain, vehicles, machinery, various types of machinery, mineral fuels, pharmaceutical products, electrical machinery, and appliances and equipment, plastic products, fruits, again, very important producer and exporter of agricultural products. For the imports, fuels, vehicles, machinery, again, electrical machinery, pharmaceutical products, plastics, organic chemicals, iron and steel. These, again, are 2021 figures. Going to investment, Spain is a very active country with huge volumes of both incoming and outward investment, with stocks that are fluctuating around €500 billion. 2022 are the latest data for direct investment. Let's get to the bilaterals. According to 2022, the first 11 months of 2022, Spain ranks 8th among the main markets of Greek exports, absorbing 3.9% of the total Greek exports, and 12th among Greece's top supplier countries, with a 2.9% share of the total Greek imports. On the other side, according to the Spanish data, Greece occupies only small shares of Spain's exports, 0.83%, and of imports, 0.25%. So I think we are on the 51st position among Spain's suppliers. The fact is, however, that trade between Greece and Spain has not only returned to pre-pandemic levels, but has reached record high levels. There is also a significant level of investment flows between the two countries. Let's have a look at the bilateral trade. As the ambassador mentioned earlier, for the period January-November 2022, the Greek exports to Spain almost reached €2 billion, which means, we will easily get past €2 billion in the whole year. Imports of goods from Spain a little higher than 2.5 billion. This brings the total, the bilateral volume of trade to 4.4 billion. This is a historical record. And it's always increasing, the bilateral trade, with the exception of 2020, which was a particular year. In terms of the synthesis of the bilateral trade for Greek exports, these are 2021 figures. Fish products, 190 million, machinery, mineral fuels, pharmaceuticals, plastics, aluminium, copper, fruits. Greek imports from Spain, fuels, vehicles, plastics, meat products. It's a very important category for Spanish exports, and we are importing from Spain, copper, apparel, and chemicals. Let's have a look at the bilateral, the Greek exports for the first 11 months of 2022. We can see these are the top categories for the Greek exports. We can see that there is not even one category, product category, showing a downward trend. So we have increases in all these categories of Greek exports to Spain. Some of them, in some categories, we really have very high rates. I have to say that although petroleum products are a very important category that is fluctuating a lot according to the international oil prices, it is the first category of Greek exports, but it doesn't have a very heavy weight, let's say, in the overall synthesis of the bilateral trade. Automatic data processing machines, fish, medicines, aluminum plates, copper tubes and pipes, sanitary towels, fresh fruit. Most of the Greek exports of fresh fruit are kiwi exports, zinc ores, aluminum foil, and many others. The data is available for anyone that wants to see it, even on our site on Agora. Concerning investment, Spain is the number 11 in foreign investor in Greece, with a stock of almost 900 million euro in 2021. This is the latest data we have. Greek direct investment in Spain amounts to approximately 144 million. There are some very important Spanish investments in Greece, dating from a long time ago, like Lafarge, Spanish Lafarge, Iberdrola in the renewable energy that is really doing a very good business in Greece, together with Rokas Renewables, Enagas, that is a shareholder in the TAP pipeline, and also is participating in the Greek natural gas network. Siemens Gamesa in renewable energy equipment. The hotels Meliá, Iberostar, Accor Barceló, tourism infrastructure. Repsol, the big oil company of Spain that has been till recently in the hydrocarbon exploration in Greece. Puig, that has bought out Apivita some years ago. Grupo Profund, that has bought a big part in Kefalonia fisheries, fish farming. Some big construction companies that have been active in the road infrastructure sector in Greece. Retail, of course. On the other hand, we have Greek groups that have invested in Spain since the old days. SNB and Gresham Magnesite through foreign participations, and other companies in the packaging, irrigation systems, fish farming. We have Avramar in Valencia that is grouping the big fish farming Greek groups, Andromeda, Nireas, Selonda. Galaxidi Marine Cultures, another Greek company that has invested in a Spanish company, Aquidelta, Intracom Telecom in the telecommunications equipment, Famar, Frigoglass, Sunny Hotels. There have been some very significant investments in the past years, like Iberdrola, Mytilineos also, Metka in the renewable energy, fish farming, electronic payments. We have the Greek online platform Viva Wallet that has entered the Spanish market. In the linen and bedwear retail, Cocomat, and of course, from the Spanish side in the tourism sector with the Melia chain expansion in Greece. There are some very good perspectives to further strengthening and deepening the bilateral business and investment cooperation. You can see various fields that I have put here. It is very important that many Greek companies, there is a multitude of Greek companies. Myself, I was surprised when I came here a few months ago to see how many Greek companies are participating in international exhibitions in Spain. I have to say that for 2023, we are planning, and we hope it will take place, a big Greek business delegation to Spain, following a Spanish business mission in Athens in May 2022. The organization of this delegation will be carried out by Enterprise Greece in cooperation with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Greek business associations from various sectors. We are targeting these sectors like foods and beverages, construction materials, medicines and cosmetics, marine equipment, telecommunications and information technology, digital technology, startups, infrastructure, construction, energy, of course, tourism, and others. There are some specific domains where we have very good perspectives. In agri-food, there is a strong Greek export interest, especially for dairy, cheese, fish, fruits, meat, soft drinks and juices, beer, and even some wine. On the other hand, there is an investment interest from Spain in some sectors of the Greek food and beverage industry. In manufacturing, strong potential in fashion, jewelry, construction materials, pharmaceuticals, parapharma, and cosmetics. In the services sector, I would mainly focus on energy, ICT, and there is a very strong interest in developing partnerships in the areas of startups, innovation, R&D, with the aim of absorbing EU development funds. In the tourism sector, there is also a strong interest in the infrastructures, but also in exchange of know-how in, for example, thematic forms of tourism like wine or agri-tourism. And of course, in the supply chain, Greece can offer large Spanish groups warehousing and distribution services, playing the role of a transit hub for Spanish products in the region neighboring Greece, Balkans, Eastern Europe. A few words, last slide, about some of these important sectors for bilateral cooperation. Tourism, we have to note that there is the level of bilateral tourism flows is quite high. Over 200,000 Spanish tourists are visiting Greece. Last year, I think we will reach approximately 250,000. The important thing for Spain is that Spain is a gateway for Spanish speaking people from Latin America that are coming to Greece as well. I saw plenty last summer in Athens and in other places. And this brings forward the good perspective for cooperation of the hotel chains in the hotel sector and in the investment sector. In RES, renewable energy, I have to say that Spain is a very strong country in Europe in production, wind and solar. In 2021, it was #2 after Germany. And it has a very strong investment interest in Greece in the renewable energy. Fruits and vegetables, I will say the message, I will pass the message that although Spain has a huge production of most of the products we are also producing, Greece is producing, there are many opportunities because in many products and in seasons, we are complementary. For example, the Greek kiwi is a success in the Spanish market. Last year, we had also some exports of peaches, which is almost unbelievable. Yes, but we had and other fresh products. Technology and innovation, Spain presents the advantage that it has two very developed regions, Barcelona and Madrid, in the ICT sector, in innovation. They host clusters of companies, not only from Spain, but from other places in Europe. The Greek companies are in touch with these hubs, high-tech hubs in Spain. They are coming to the international exhibition congresses like MWC, Mobile World Congress, and the Internet of Things conference. We are expecting a delegation and a national participation in the next MWC at the end of February. In medicines and cosmetics, Spain is a very important market for the cosmetic products as well, 5th in the EU in terms of cosmetics, per capita cosmetics consumption, in the fashion and jewelry sector, and in the food and beverage industry, even in the olive oil industry, there are opportunities for Greek companies to cover gaps, perhaps, in the demand. And there are some perspectives for investment cooperation in the meat sector. The meat industry is the #4 industry for Spain, very attractive industry, and interested in developing cooperations in Greece and investment cooperations. And the brewing industry, beer. So having all these in mind, I'm finishing with my presentation. I'm available for any questions in the end of the webinar, and I'm passing the floor to the next speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gassios, for sharing your experience and providing our audience with such useful and helpful information. Mr. Javier Arnau, Director of the Navalia International Shipping Exhibition, will share his insights about the Spanish shipbuilding and maritime equipment industry. Mr. Arnau, welcome and thank you for joining us.
Okay. It's okay, the sound?
Yes, it's okay.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. First of all, I would like to thank to the Greek Embassy and my dear friend Pantelis, and also to Enterprise Greece this opportunity to talk about my passion, that is the naval industry. Probably you know that Navalia is the first shipbuilding industry exhibition in Spain and one of the main important in Europe. But we are something different to a normal exhibition. We also represent all the naval industry, marine industry better. And inside Spain and also outside Spain, we do a lot of presentations. We travel with our companies to out of Spain, in Europe, as well as South America or other part of the world. And part of our work is to help our companies to make business with other countries' companies. That's the reason to thank again to the embassy to give me the opportunity to introduce some information about the naval industry in our country. I'm going to share you a little presentation. Here you have. Okay. I'm trying to give you some information about how is working our maritime industry. We are located our shipyards or the main shipbuilding areas in our country. Which kind of vessels, with kind of ships, we usually build in Spain. How is the situation nowadays? Which are the main objectives of our shipbuilding industry? Which kind of opportunities for your country? Two examples of an Spain and Greece collaboration in this industry. And finally, I will give you some reference of institutions, clusters, and information about these two example collaboration between our countries. Then we start with information about our maritime industry. At this moment, it has been always very important, this industry for our country. In fact, in the 2021, the revenue of our maritime industry was around 200,000 million euros per year, and over 11 million hours of work. That is very important, that the amount of hours that we dedicate to this industry. And we have employed directly around 35,000 direct workers and around 35,000 indirect or subsidiary industry workers in the 2021. In fact, we had in some kind of ships like reserve vessels, aquaculture, fishing, offshore wind vessel that nowadays is on fashion in our country. In this kind of buildings, we are in the top position in highly qualified buildings or constructions. And this will be an opportunity, as we explain. I will explain at the end of the presentation. The 90% of our clients that are coming to our shipyards are coming from out of Spain. Nowadays, the main are from Norway, from Emirates countries, here in the UAE, the Netherlands, or France, or Italy. Sometimes we have some contracts from Greece, for example. And in the military industry, we say in Spain, naval industry in Spain, it means the building in general, but to be proper with the English translation, when we talk about maritime industry, we talk about all kind of vessels. And when we talk about naval industry, we are talking about defense and security sector. And as you can see, the 50% of our naval or military industry in the shipbuilding industry is also coming from abroad, from navies from Australia, UK, Colombia, Peru. And as you can see, in the picture, our main zones, you can see here. We have more or less 3 regions in Spain that concentrate the naval industry or the maritime industry and the shipyards. We have nowadays 11 private shipyards. The main are in the north of Spain, from Galicia to Asturias, Cantabria, and Basque Country, as the people coming from the tourist industry call this part of Spain the Green Spain, okay? Then the Green Spain concentrate a very large amount of shipyards at this moment. And we also have some industry in the south of Spain, like in Andalusia, and also in the Canary Island. And we also have some kind of activity, but they have more to do with luxury vessels or boating, for not to be more understandable, not like cruises or ferries or ro-ro or this kind of vessels. It's more like very little vessels, more to leisure vessels, okay? And we also have a very, nowadays in the north of Spain and in Canary Islands, nowadays a big activity in the repairing activity at this moment. Not only, I mean, to new vessels, also to repairing vessels. And nowadays, only the shipyards, not the whole activity, maritime activity, has around 2,000 direct jobs. Then it's a very important activity for Spain, and not only inside Spain, as well for the work or the contracts or the orders we have from ship owners coming from all around the world. What kind of vessels or buildings we normally do in our shipyards? It depends. It's a very Galician response in Spain. In Spain, we are very known because always response that it depends. No, it depends on the how can I say on the locations, obviously, and on the time. If we make these questions, I don't know, 10 or 15 years ago, we had a lot of activity in the offshore vessels for oil activity. If you make this question 15 or 20 years ago, we had a lot of fishing vessels activity, a lot of fishing buildings, but we have opened our, it's a wide kind of offer we have in order to build all these kind of vessels, from oceans research and offshore vessels, fishing, that is very typical in the north of Spain with Asturias, Cantabria, Galicia. We are always building new vessels from fishing activity. In the part of passage and mega yachts, we are restarting to build ferries, cruises, and we also have a very important activity in patrols and military vessels. Like, for example, I'm going to show you an example related to our collaboration between Greece and Spain, that the frigate F110, that there is a collaboration between Spanish and Greece companies. And the last in fashion is the Shadow Cats, that are support vessel to the rich men, like from the men from Google or the men from Facebook, that are building in Spain the support vessel, that where you have the equipments the employers of the main or the principal board. It's curious, but nowadays it's something that is on fashion here in Spain. But to make it brief, we are used to build all kind of vessels, not in chain like a car factory or that kind of vessels that are nowadays built in Korea or China. In fact, the biggest vessel we can build nowadays in Spain, there are not more than 2,000 meters of size. But the truth is that we can build any kind of vessels with a very important charge of technology nowadays. In fact, this is one part of our objective nowadays in our industry. It's a very important historical opportunity nowadays because it's increasing the transport, the maritime transport, not only in Europe, as well in all the world. And in Spain, we have this figure that is the PERTE, that is an aid coming from the European community that is offering the naval industry and other industry the possibility to invest in new kind of vessels with a very high charge of technology. We are trying also to diversify our naval industry, trying to focus our industry, our shipyards in renewable energy sector. The main nowadays is, as I said before, the offshore wind activity. We are trying to focus also our activity in innovation with high-tech buildings, and many companies like Navantia, that is a shipyard, a public shipyard, depending on the government of Spain, that is located in different part of our country, in the north in Galicia, but also in the south, like in Cádiz or Sevilla, that are trying to offer a digitalization and automation of our new buildings. Okay. Then, which kind of opportunities? Even though I am open to any kind of question after the presentation, but what is the possibility in our country nowadays? To train qualified professionals, we need welders, tinkers, pipers, engineers, because due to the crisis of 2010, 2012, many of our workers changed to other activities like building flats or other kind of buildings, or went to other countries, sometimes in Netherlands or sometimes out of Europe, like in South America or even in Australia, for example. Then we also need new professionals for any kind of activities inside the naval industry. We need to optimize our production process thanks to new technologies tools. As I said, to incorporate digital solutions and to acquire new competitive advantages. Obviously, as said Mr. Alexandro Polo, I think I said okay the name, at her introduction, she talks about the environment and to make more sustainable our activity more sustainable. Also, obviously, like in other activities, trying to use fewer pollution fuels, and that is also the reason to focus our activity also in the wind offshore activity, that is more it is cleaner, and as in the last point, to try to use renewable energy, especially marine energies like wind activities. And all this is objectives of our industry, but also I think opportunities for your country or other countries that are coming here to Spain. Here you have two examples. I can give you more by mail or in other moment, but I can talk about two examples of cooperation between two countries. The EDINAF, that is a European project valued with 29 million euros in the last year, 2022. It's a project led by Navantia that is, as I said, a public shipyard depending on the government of Spain, and where Spanish, French, Italian, and Greek ministries of defense are working to design and create ships more intelligent and digital buildings or vessels in the future. And also Navantia has presented in 2 years ago an ambitious offer to meet Greek Navy needs with specifically frigate, the F-110, that is probably one of the most successfully buildings in our public shipyards, and he's going to offer this kind of frigate, but including technology of the countries where we are trying to sell these frigates. But we also have some others. I also have some other examples of cooperation between two countries. And to find after the questions, I don't know if this is right now, the questions are right now or at the end of all the presentations. But here I can send you information with these links of our exhibition, obviously, information about how Navantia, this is in Spanish, but I can translate you. He's trying to develop aeolic activity. Okay, PIMAR, that is the main association between little and medium shipyards here in Spain. Aclunaga is the naval cluster here in Spain that I know very well. That is, they have a very good relationship with EMEXPO, that I think is the Greek association in your country, all the things that has to do with naval industry. The Spanish maritime cluster, that is include not only shipbuilding industry, but also tourist activity, maritime tourists, even though it's not directly in relation with the shipbuilding here in Spain, but includes all the kind of maritime interest. And here you have the link to these examples I gave you before about the EDINAF project, and also the information about how Navantia is trying to collaborate with the Navy, Greek Navy, in order to collaborate to build new frigates and new defense vessels for your country. And that's all. I don't know, Pantelis, if the questions are right now or after all the presentation, or thank you for your time, for the opportunity to give it's a little very little brief about how it works, our industry, but I can send you more details if you are very interested. And obviously, I invite you to visit Navalia next year in the 3rd week of May. I think our departments of commercial department and your companies are in contact, are in touch to make something, to have a delegation in our exhibition next year, and I stand at your disposal to answer any question you have.
Thank you very much, Mr. Arnau, for your comprehensive and detailed presentations. We will have questions at the end of the session.
Okay.
Let me now give the virtual podium to Mr. Jorge Herrera, Head of Development South Europe Europe of Melia Hotels International. He is going to speak about expanding business in the Greek hotel sector. Mr. Herrera, the floor is yours. Mr. Herrera, can you please unmute?
No.
I'm afraid we cannot, we still cannot listen.
Mr. Herrera, we don't hear you.
There seems to be a problem with Mr. Herrera's audio. Let's move to the next speaker, Mr. Malamatinis. Mr. Ioannis Malamatinis, he is a General Director of Olimpo Gourmet SL in Barcelona. He's going to give a brief overview of the Spanish food and beverage market. Mr. Malamatinis will be speaking in Greek, so for our foreign guests, there is interpretation. So all you have to do is choose the button translation and you will hear his speech in English. Κύριε Μαλαματίνη, ο λόγος είναι σε εσάς.
The floor is yours, Mr. Malamatinis. Good afternoon, and thank you very much for the invitation, the opportunity I'm given to present the views and the experience on food after 25 years in the market in the country. I'm head of Olivo Gourmet, a company active in different channels, import channels in the Spanish market, purchasing from Greece, such as Horeca Retail. Is that okay? Can you hear me? We import Greek food from the Greek market, any temperature, even frozen or kept in cold. Spanish people love us. They respect us for our history. And thanks to our hospitality, they love Greek food. What I would like to stress, I do not wish to tire you, is that in the way Spanish companies have invested in the market, Greek companies need to consider it similarly. Greek food, well, in terms of Greek food, Greek companies need to cooperate with people such as we are, that we are familiar with the market, and we can introduce them in different channels in Spain. In the past years, Greek food has greatly developed in the Spanish market, and there has been a large effort on the part of the embassy, the different offices and reps, such as Mr. Pantelis and Mr. Gatsios. Well, I believe that those Greek companies that wish to promote their products in the Spanish market and can support them may communicate with us, my company, Olvo Gourmet, so that we can help them in developing their activities in the Greek market. We diffuse Greek products in all the Spanish territory on the islands. As explained earlier, with Navatia, we've been having an excellent cooperation. We distribute Greek companies on different cruises that sail across the world, and we cooperate excellently with other channels, supermarkets that are interested in Greek products. We serve customers that, due to logistics, cannot be active in the Portuguese and French markets, those neighboring with the Spanish territory. So while Greek food is somehow established, we might be competitive countries, however, we complement one another somehow.
Η Olympo Gourmet έχει ξεκινήσει
Olympo Gourmet was founded 10 years ago. And currently, we make available olives, dough, calamatas, tahini, and other products, yogurt, products imported in the Spanish market. To go deeper, beyond those well-known products, other ready-made food can be made available in the Spanish market. Olives and olive paste. Well, I would encourage those interested in investing in the Spanish market. We can jointly make them available in the market, promote them in the market. I don't know whether you've got any questions. Those are some of our main partners. Mr. Gassios, have you got any question? Well, we'll take questions at the end.
So, thank you very much, Mr. Matamatinis, for your speech and presentation. Now let's try to move to Mr. Jorge Herrera, Head of Development, South Europe of Melia Hotels International. Mr. Herrera?
I'm here.
Good.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes. Excellent.
Okay, I feel very sorry. So Kalispera, Efaristo, and sorry for my delays. Well, until this my week at the moment. So thanks to Pantelis and the embassy for the opportunity to having me here, also to Enterprise Greece. So it's a long-term partner of Melia Hotels International in the country. So we have been trying to study some projects in the past, and we are keeping this collaboration nowadays. So, Well, I try to be quite dynamic in my presentation, so I'm going to share my screen, and I'll show you the presentation about Melia Hotels International. So everything, can you see it? Can you watch it? So, well, Melia Hotels International is the is the first hotel group in Spain. Actually, we have around 90,000, a little bit more right now, due to the last minute 2022 signatures. So we have some new properties in our portfolio. Around 350 hotels, 50% of them are leisure hotels, also the 50% are business hotels, and we are placing 40 countries right now in the world. Of course, our main focus, our strategy is to develop our business in the leisure acts worldwide, which is the Caribbean, the Mediterranean, Emirates, and also the Swedish Asia. And because we are the first leisure group worldwide in terms of leisure owners, leisure hotels, sorry, and we're the 20th worldwide group, chain group, a hotel chain group right now. We are in the stock market in Spain, so just to introduce you a little bit financially the company. So we are listed in the stock Spanish stock exchange since 1996, and the IBEX 35, which is the main one for the last 7 years now. And well, our CEO, Mr. Escarrer, is the leader of the main lobby of tourism in Spain, which is Exceltur, who has been negotiating all the full law of all the special regulations after, during, and after the COVID. So we feel very proud to be involved also not only in the business side, but also in the social side. Because the ESG is one of the main points of our company right now, of course. So we are not that new in the market. So many people think that Melia is a 80s founded in the 80s company, but we started in 1956, where we're based in Mallorca, and in Mallorca started everything almost 70 years ago. And we have some highlights on the history. In 1984, we had our first international hotel. So we created the Paradisus brand in the 90s, the mid 90s. So until now, the Paradisus brand was our high-end, all-inclusive resort in the Caribbean. But this year, 2023, we're opening our first 2 resorts in Europe under this brand, in Canary Islands, and Gran Canaria and Lanzarote. And this is one of the brands we want to deliver to take to the Greek market, of course. And during the last year, so we went through a large digitalization process in order to provide the best service to our partners and stakeholders all over the world. So at the end of the day, we are reporting to funds, private equity funds, owners, small owners, and individuals, and also employees. So we have a very digitalized process where everything is easy and agile and flexible to get. So regarding the portfolio, so you can see 36% in the Americas, 42 in Spain. Of course, we're a Spanish company, so everything started here. So we have in the leisure, but also in the main cities in Spain and Europe, and also in EMEA area, we have 20% of our portfolio, and slowly, but not it's taking not very much to double the figure in Asia Pacific, because we are closing some deals for the 2023 as well. So we have 40 hotels right now and 13 in the pipeline. So we have several brands split it in the essential brands, which are the Soul by Melia, more focusing resorts, Affiliated by Melia, which will be more the soft brands for those hotels that cannot fit or cannot invest in fitting in one of our upper scale and high-end luxury brands. We have the 50% of our portfolio in the premium brands, which are Melia Hotels and Resorts, Inside by Melia, and Falcon Resorts, which is a joint venture with the Falcons entertainment company. So we call these properties resortainments. So the first one opened last year in Dominican Republic, but we are opening a few of them in Europe along the 2023. And our luxury brands, Grand Melia, Melia Collection, Me by Melia, and Paradiso by Melia. So Spanish luxury as a Grand Melia, the Melia Collection, those boutique hotels with a special character. Me by Melia, which is our luxury lifestyle brand, and Paradisus, as stated before, our resorts. And nowadays we are developing. Actually, we sent the message to the market 1 month ago. So we have a joint venture with Rafa Nadal, the most awarded tennis player in the history, also Mallorcan guy. And we have developed a new brand called Cell with a Mediterranean flair, which is our upper upscale lifestyle brand with this, Mediterranean attributes, and what's going to be open the first one hotel in Mallorca next May. And we are studying several projects of this brand with Rafa Nadal in Greece for the next 2024. So I think it could be a special attractive brand for Greece operators and owners. Regarding Greece, as you already know, we have 4 properties now in the country. These 4 properties in Rhodes, Crete, and Athens. We had our first Greek hotel in the capital city of the country. What we're looking for, so we want to focus this presentation on that. So we're looking for 4 and 5-star properties, urban and leisure destinations, Athens, Piraeus, Thessaloniki, in terms of urban, and regarding leisure. So the main islands, well, I'll show you in a map afterwards, and also 3-star hotels that could be potentially upgraded to 4 or 5-star hotels. Leisure areas and destinations indicated in the map, and both franchise and management offer. Also, we are studying some merge and acquisition operations in the market, so we are open to get actually, our target is to be double our portfolio next year, 2024. We are putting a lot of our resources in this country right now, this sibling country. And well, our actual hotels, Melia Athens, is a 136 room. It's managed by us. Our Sol Marina Crete, 4-star property, almost 400 rooms. The Blue Sea Beach, 5-star property affiliated to Melia, and the Sol Cosmopolitan Rhodes. These 3 hotels in Rhodes and Crete under the Formula franchised. And these are the main areas where we want to be in Greece. So Athens, Crete, Halkidiki, Rhodes, Corfu, Kefalonia, Mykonos, Kos, Thessaloniki, Zakynthos, Piraeus, and Torini. But actually, we are studying more projects in different locations in the country, because in general, Greece and Spain are top leading in the markets in the Mediterranean country, and of course, I think that Melia has a lot of things to improve, to develop, in the country. So we want to be there, and we're open to any kind of conversation and discussion with potential owners, investors in the country. And also regarding and have been in the conversation in the last presentation, also from enterprise side. So Melia is the second most sustainable hotel chain in the world right now, awarded by Standard & Poor's. So we are developing some different sustainability projects. So for example, we have the first zero emission hotel resort in Menorca, the first in Spain, in the Balearic island of Menorca, under the brand Grand Melia. It's a 5-star Grand Rocks hotel, leading hotel of the world portfolio too. And well, we're working towards a sustainable future. And we have invested in the last year more than 20 million euros, shifting our business model to a more sustainable at the end of the day. So, well, I'm willing to hear you in the questions at the end of our presentation webinar today. So thank you very much, and sorry again for the first misunderstanding with the microphone.
Okay, Mr. Herrera, thank you for sharing with us your valuable experience. We now welcome to the podium our last speaker, Mr. Michael Kokkinos, President and CEO of Moptil SA. He's going to share his experience on high-tech startup expansion in Spain. Mr. Kokkinos, welcome.
Hello, good afternoon, good evening. I'm trying to share my screen. It doesn't look, okay, now I can. Okay, great. So I'll do so right now. Sorry, yeah. So good afternoon, thank you very much for inviting us. My name is Michael Kokkinos. I'm the CEO of Moptil, stands for Mobile Optical Illusions. It's a technology company focused on culture. So thank you very much to the Greek Embassy, to Enterprise Greece, of course, to the Commercial Counselor, Mr. Gassios, and all of the supporters of this event. My target today would be to show you what we have done in Spain and to give you a few tips of how a startup or a scale-up company can do business in Spain. So number one thing is that I would like to remind for those, because we are in history, for those who has heard about Cicero 1,000 years ago said that if gods were speaking a language, they will speak for sure Greek. The same thing has been has been said from Victor Hugo for Spanish language. So we have something common. We love our language. And number one tip is, if you want to do business in Spain, try to speak Spanish. The new generation speak English, but still you need to recruit someone to speak Spanish, write Spanish. It will help you a lot. So this will help you to clarify your vision of your company. And in our case, to create bonds between humans and the past was really helpful to explain what is our vision, and then organizations and potential customers to understand we're not just a company to sell products, new technology products, but we really believe what we're selling. So in order to give you an idea, we are a company really focused on augmented and virtual reality technology, and we combine it with artificial intelligence in order to recreate customs and reconstruct buildings as they used to be 1,000 years ago, and create experiences for museums and archaeological sites and castles, in general for heritage. And this has many similarities in all Mediterranean countries, because all of these countries have the same characteristics, Spain as well. So before we go there, some other tips is that we had quite good traction. So we had some references. We had worked a lot with archaeological sites in Athens, like Acropolis, and that was a really big reference for us. But also before that, beforehand, we were in contact with all Spanish and Greek institutions and organizations in order to understand a little bit the market. So, for example, the Greek Embassy, the Commercial Counselor, the Greek Commercial Counselor, but also IFEX in Athens, Commercial Attaché as well of the Spanish Embassy, and the Spanish Embassy are some of the institutions that you can get a lot of information about your new environment. The same happens with the Hellenic Spanish Chamber of Commerce that previously said by Ms. Betty Alexandropoulou. I am the president. I'm really happy to see some of our members like Milan. So please do contact them and try to learn more about this market, which has many similar characteristics, but many difference also from Greece. So our presence for the moment is in Greece, Malta, and Spain, and Motil is doing this kind of experiences for museum and other institutions. Our first project, after we found a local partner, and this is really important, this is another tip, you may speak the language, but it's not easy to follow up. So when you go there to do business, it's good to have a good partner from the same market. So we have some good partners there, and we managed to do a first contract in Spain with a Roman Forum of Cartagena. Cartagena is one of the cities of the province Murcia, and we have set our project and our service there, so people that are visiting this archaeological site can see more or less what you see in the following video. Please enjoy. So now you have a full idea of what we're doing. And really, when we presented ourselves in front of many different customers in Spain, we came also with arguments that this kind of technology brings families closer to the heritage sites, and also motivate young generations to love heritage, which is our vision actually. But also we had already worked a lot, and we knew that we have kind of innovation. So create a digital experience has to be really focused. It's not just to create a digital experience. You need to create something that is different from what they have, because not to forget, Spain is really, really strong in technology. So what we presented to the Spanish community, and I'm talking about the Spanish community because we have met different kind of profiles. So we met public organizations, we met private organizations, corporates, we met archaeological sites. By the way, one of the things a company has to investigate is how is the market. So for example, our market is not the same in Greece and in Spain. For example, here, if you want to have a project with archaeological sites, you need to speak to the ministry. There, you need to speak to 17 different comunidades autónomas, communities autonomous. And even for the specific project in Cartagena, we had to sign a contract with the municipality of Cartagena. So they have fully decentralized system in most of the things. So you have to be really careful. And also a good, very positive thing, that it takes much, much faster, at least that was our experience, to sign a contract. So once we agreed, within like 3 weeks, we had the signature of the mayor, which was surprising for us. So another tip is that, as I said before, you don't need just to go with the technology, you need to find an innovation. So we presented ourselves with a platform that we have designed, which combines, as I said in the beginning, augmented virtual reality and artificial intelligence. And that had an impact when we presented it. And we made sure that something similar was not there in the market, although we had already seen that many Spanish companies have really very strong R&D and they have really nice products. These are some of our biggest customers, especially we work with many of them like TUI, Deutsche Telekom, Wind Company. We are member, or also not to forget, we are member of the cluster of EGG. EGG has a cluster in tourism and technology. And of course, EGG is part of Eurobank, is an NGO of Eurobank, supporting new startup companies and scale-up companies. And now we have managed together with Cartagena to expand our contract. We have proven that we have in less than 2 years, we have more than 2,000 users, including pandemia. That was really difficult. But it looks like Spanish people and Spanish organizations have the same behavior as all around the world, maybe even stronger like in Greece. If they have really good confidence with you, this is getting more expanded and more expanded. And that was really good to find out that you come really close to your customers. Well, that's another small video. I'm going to show you a few moments to understand that was the inauguration, and really the mayor of the city did the introduction. And just to have an idea how it went when we signed the contract, when we started the service.
Hoy es un día muy importante para la gran familia de Cartagena, Puerto de Culturas y sobre todo para el barrio del Foro Romano. Es un placer poder contar aquí en Cartagena y que me acompañen en el día de hoy Michalis Kokinos de Moptil, que es la empresa que ha desarrollado la APP que os vamos a presentar a continuación. Como sabéis, la recuperación del Foro Romano y la puesta en marcha de su museo es una de nuestras prioridades y es uno de nuestros grandes retos y objetivos, no decirlos, dinámicos. Y por eso, dentro de esta tendencia, hemos querido poner en marcha una APP de realidad virtual para el barrio del Foro Romano. Estamos deseando poder verlo y comprobarlo de los distintos espacios que componían las termas, el edificio del atrio o el santuario de Isis. Por ejemplo, especial mención y no por ello menos importante, griego.
La experiencia inmersiva en ese maravilloso Foro Romano.
Well, not to make your life even more difficult, thank you very much. I hope these tips will help startups and scale-up companies. And I'm here with you in case you have any questions to answer to you, and you have my emails and my details. Thank you very much again to the organizers.
Mr. Kokinos, thank you very much for your detailed and concise presentation. This concludes the session with the speakers. We do have some questions by the audience. There is time to answer a couple of them. First, for Mr. Malamatinis, I will speak now in Greek. Κύριε Μαλαματίνη, υπήρχε ερώτηση.
There's a question for you. The subsectors and the products of the food and beverage sector in Spain, you believe that are most dynamic, presenting a high interest for Greek exporters? Well, I believe that dairy products and particularly yogurt, this is the most attractive, and that it can be exported, imported correspondingly. Okay, thank you.
Next question is for Mr. Herrera. It's a similar question. Which sectors of the tourism industry present the most remarkable prospects for business cooperation between Greece and Spain?
Well,
Yes.
I'm sorry. Go, please. Okay. So I think that Greece is a sibling country with a almost parallel history in terms of tourism development in the last 60 years. So what the big difference I can see in the market now is that the hotel industry in Greece is more fragmented, and probably working in the consolidation of some groups, the opportunities to reposition in some mature destinations to an upper upscale destinations and not focused in massive tourism, and everything regarding with the digitalization, regarding not only hotels but also all the distribution systems, less tour operated and more digitalized sales at the end of the day could be a good choice, a good topic to study in the future for sure.
Thank you, Mr. Herrera. A question for Mr. Arnau. What would the Spanish maritime sector and the Spanish shipbuilding industry in particular need from Greece? And how can Greek companies address such needs?
Okay, thank you for the question. I focus my answer in two subjects. By one hand, I talked in my presentation about what amount of hand workers we need, like welders, tinkers, pipers, in general, all kind of activities on jobs that have to do with the activity of the shipyard, inside the shipyard. And the other, and for me, the main important is, unfortunately for Spain and for our shipyards, around the 60–70% of the equipments that are included in a very big vessel like a ro-ro ferry or cruise or a military ship are coming from abroad. This is a lack that we have in Spain, and obviously an opportunity for not only the Greek companies, for all the companies in Europe. Who are your competitors? Obviously, the companies that are coming from the north of Europe: Norway, Finland, Sweden, Germany, Denmark. But this is not what can stop you to come here to Spain to offer your products, because we have a very good relationship with your country, with Italy, with France. In fact, to put some examples, I have 3–4 names of Greek companies, and with the sample that they are selling to the Spanish shipyards. For example, Seabright, that they build the lightning for the vessels, or Valiadis, excuse me for the pronunciation, Valiadis Hellenic Motors, that they export to Spain engines for the ships. Erma First, that they export water treatments for any kind of vessels or ships. The Koronakis, sorry, that export ropes for the fishing vessel, but not only for the fishing vessels, for the other kind of vessels as well. And I think that there is that kind of products and opportunity for your companies. And apart from the subject we talked before, that it was the wind energy sector that is also very important for us and that we are trying to develop inside as well and outside our coast and our frontiers, our borders. And I think this is two parts, the qualified hand workers and any kind of equipment for the vessels.
Thank you, Mr. Arnau. And the Greek companies you mentioned as examples are exhibitors that we have in Enterprise Greece, and we take them with us in international exhibitions. Now we have time for a last question to Mr. Kokkinos. Mr. Kokkinos, you have succeeded in expanding to Spain. From your experience, what is the most important prerequisite for a Greek company to get into the Spanish market?
Most important things are two, in my opinion. Thank you for the question. The first one is that, as I said before, you need to know beforehand a little bit the market, and this means you need good collaborators, partners, and to know a little bit the ecosystem, come to contact with all the institutions like the Greek embassy and the chancellor and Enterprise Greece. And also, on the other hand, to have an innovation. Spain is a country that has really good technology companies, quite high tech. So you need to offer something different, and it is sure that Spain is an open market. So you are going to find open ears, especially as a Greek company.
Thank you, Mr. Kokkinos. And now this is the end of this event, of doing business in Spain event. We managed to give an overview of 4 sectors for the Spanish market, the maritime sector, the tourism industry, food and beverage, of course, and the high tech. And thank you all, speakers and the audience, for your participation. Mr. Gassios and the Embassy of Greece in Spain. So, thank you everybody. Στα ελληνικά,
Thank you. Ευχαριστώ.
Στα ελληνικά σας ευχαριστούμε και υπάρχει κάποιο κουμπί στην οθόνη σας. Είναι μια έρευνα που κάνουμε που μας βοηθάει να βελτιώσουμε τις υπηρεσίες μας και να ξανακάνουμε και με ποιον τρόπο να διαπιστώσουμε θα ξανακάνουμε παρόμοια events στο εξωτερικό. Σας ευχαριστώ.
Ευχαριστούμε πολύ.
Ευχαριστούμε πολύ και εμείς. Thank you very much. Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you very much.
Thank you much. Gracias. Ευχαριστώ.
Gracias, goodbye.
Hasta luego.